Hello, my name's Andrew. I'm from Australia and I have a PhD in communications. I have been teaching English in Australia and overseas for the last 20 years. My first job overseas as a teacher was for a school called MIES in Yangon in Myanmar, and that was teaching grade 6. And it was teaching all the homeroom subjects like science, English, social studies and maths. After that, I moved to Thailand and I worked for a primary school called Heathfield International School. And that was a British school, so we were using the British curriculum. In Yangon, we were using the American curriculum. And while I was teaching grade 6 in Yangon, I was teaching grade 4 here. So very similar subjects, except for art. So I was teaching art here, where I wasn't teaching that in Yangon. Both jobs were absolutely amazing. I really enjoyed my time teaching here. It was very fulfilling, and I learned a lot about myself as a teacher, as a primary school teacher. But I had to go back to Australia to finish my PhD. So I finished my PhD in about 2008 in Australia, and I started working as a lecturer in Australia. And during that time, I started to become more interested in teaching overseas students. So I helped to establish our university's offshore program in communications in Hong Kong. So we were teaching our degree, our media and communications degree in Hong Kong. And I helped to establish that and to run that for a couple of years. But when that came to an end, I decided to leave Australia and live overseas permanently. And I moved to China and I started working for Wall Street English. And in that job in Beijing, I was focusing more on primary school students. So I started to develop courses and materials for teaching primary school students at different schools and different institutions across Beijing for Wall Street English. Now, so I did that for a year in China, and after that I decided to move back to Southeast Asia, and I started working at the Myanmar Times. So I was the lifestyle editor at the newspaper, and I did that for the last 4 years. And unfortunately, the military coup destroyed not only the newspaper, but pretty much the entire country. That was just over a year ago. So our newspaper had to shut down. And so I moved to Thailand, and I have been living and working here in Thailand since then. And during that time, I have been teaching primary school students. So I have been working at a demonstration school, teaching grades 1 and grades 2. And that's been a lot of fun. So I always create my own lesson plans. I have my little worksheets and materials. I have a background in media, so I enjoy using multimedia, video clips. I enjoy getting the students to create their own little media performances and interactive exercises. So I've been doing that for the last 6 months here in Thailand. I enjoy learning languages, and I'm currently learning Thai. So I would love to learn Thai in a small town somewhere in rural Thailand. If you want to learn anything more about me, ask me any questions, feel free to ask.